Avengers Infinity War was the two towers of the Marvel Universe, then my god, Avengers Endgame might just be the return of the king. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to a brand new movie review. Today I'm going to be discussing, non-spoilers of course, Avengers Endgame. And if you guys are new here, well, consider hitting that like and subscribe button right down there for all sorts of early movie reviews like this. Plus, you guys can also go over to Sandwich on Films on how to see films early. If you loved Infinity War and are in fact just a big Marvel fan, this was probably your most anticipated film. It certainly was for me. Avengers Infinity War had ended. I walked out of the theater with my friend. We both looked at each other and said, we have to wait a year? So that year flew by like that, and we are here. I have survived the Endgame. And I'm here to discuss it again in non-spoilers. This is going to be a very vague review. I'm going to give you my basic thoughts on the film. And again, no spoilers. You've got to go in this film not knowing anything. Great to go into this film really only seeing a couple trailers and a couple pictures here and there. And all of that was in the first maybe 15-30 minutes. And it was great to see that Marvel and Disney took that risk and really didn't show anything. This is why I'm going to have to do a spoiler review, because there's a lot I want to talk about. Again, keeping my mouth shut, because Thanos will probably destroy me, and the Russo brothers might just snipe me from far away. Avengers Endgame is exactly what I wanted it to be. It was pretty much everything I needed it to be, and coming off of Infinity War, which after seeing this film, it does enhance Infinity War, and I really want an addition of Infinity War and Endgame both spliced together, where it blacks out and just fades right into Endgame, because that would be flippin' amazing. And my basic things is I loved Endgame. It was honestly everything I wanted it to be and more. I was hyped out of my mind with me and my friend going to this film, and the thing is, this has been a big part of our childhood and growing into us being adults. We've seen each and every MCU film together, and it's really formed our friendship together. In fact, like every single time there's a Marvel film, we're there first day. And the MCU has kept that special for us. Something that has united us to the fact that now that Endgame's over, we're like sitting there like, what do we do now? I think maybe you guys will even feel the same way, but that's because I left feeling so fulfilled. This isn't just a great conclusion to the Avengers trilogies, and in a sense, a lot of these characters that we've grown to love, but it's a great conclusion to the last 22 Marvel films that have come out in the last 11 years of the MCU. Kevin Feige, like everyone on board, the Russo brothers, the writers of this film, and again, Kevin Feige, gotta mention that guy, the plan that they had set in motion, every single suggestion, every single prediction, every single thought that went into Avengers Endgame, and in general this whole plan of constructing the whole universe together was brilliant. On paper it's ludicrous and brilliant at the same time, but on the construct of constructing it, just a round of applause for them for even accomplishing it in general. They did it. They really did it. And I love it. Like, I love how they ended a lot of different things in Endgame. The ending, there's multiple times where I teared up from happiness, from sadness, from emotions just overwhelming me. My hands got very sweaty throughout the whole film. In fact, I sweated throughout the whole entire thing because I was on the edge of my seat a majority of the time. The way that the film has progressed through Act 1 to Act 2 to Act 3, it's a little risky the way that the Russo brothers decided to market. You know, the first act is really much the core crux of the aftermath of Infinity War and how people are dealing with it. And I love that. Second act starts getting into the main crux of Endgame. And of course, the third act is the finale. And again, I don't want to get into the second or third act because the first act's everything they really show you in the trailer. Again, I think each act got better. In fact, I love the first act. I love how it started. The second act is my only nitpick of the film. Reason it is a nitpick for me, again, I still enjoyed it. I had fun with it. At times it felt a little bit too predictable and a little bit, I don't want to say the word, but there's a certain word that goes with it that I will go into in my spoiler review. Again, I didn't have any issues with it. I was still entertained throughout the whole thing. The second it got into that third act, I was all in. I was on the edge of my seat the rest of the time. Literally the whole audience, once the third act kicks off, everyone got up like this. And everyone was just zoned in with what was happening. I'm a huge fan of the MCU. It really just fueled so many emotions through me. Again, happiness, sadness. I was actually very surprised to see how much people laughed, and in fact, how much I laughed. I don't think this is the funniest MCU film. In fact, there are some really great laughs in here that I was on the floor laughing. Best thing about this though is it never took away from the stakes. There was dire emotion in here, especially in that first act, seeing how everyone is living with this situation and how everyone is dealing with it is unique, and I loved that. And now the fact that we are even continuing, that there's other Marvel films coming down the date, I'm super like wondering how they're going to go further and how the results of this film and even the past MCU films might affect it. I know this is a lot of vagueness. It's really hard to talk about this film. Overall, though, I loved it. There are some excellent standout characters in here. Every single person in here gives a wonderful performance, especially our main Avengers. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. is excellent in here. Chris Evans is fantastic and never better. Probably the best performance as Captain America that he's given. Scarlett Johansson was actually the big surprise for me. I loved her character, and I've always loved Black Widow, but really, she brought another sense of emotion to her character in here. Jeremy Renner is excellent as Ronan. I wanted a little bit more of him, but, I mean, going in, you got Mark Ruffalo as well. He's great. Don Cheadle has some great moments and one-liners here and there. Chris Hemsworth is great in the role. There's some things I didn't like that they did with his character personally, but it fit, and I dug it. You just kind of moved through the cast. Karen Gillan as Nebula was a big standout as well. Rocket Raccoon, of course, Bradley Cooper voicing him is always great. Everyone does a great job. But again, the three main standouts, it has to be Robert Downey Jr., Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Evans, each giving the performance of their life into these roles. That these roles, they are these characters, and that's what the MCU has brought them to be. Excellent set pieces and a beautiful cinematography and a beautiful score that tied each and every emotion together. This is the culmination of all the MCU, and it is a fitting and excellent conclusion to the whole thing. Bring some tissues. You don't need your adult diaper. I survived. I didn't get up. Really, no one got up. You get sucked into the film. It's a long one at that, but it never at one point sat there and I was like, okay, this is getting a little bit long. Let's get to the next thing. No. I was so soaked in. In fact, I could have probably used a couple more hours in here, especially even some of the moments in the second act. I could have used even more of that, and maybe that's why I'm kind of a little nitpicky with it. But again, my God, Avengers Endgame is here. I have survived it, and I cannot wait to talk with you guys about it down below in the comments. So with all that said, I'm going to give Avengers Endgame an A. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this film. I'm curious to hear your guys' ones. I know it's coming out in a couple days, and I can't wait to talk with you guys down below. Please, no spoilers down below. There will be a spoiler review either up on Friday or Saturday, and I cannot wait to talk with you guys in more spoilers, details down there. You guys are seriously all the best, and I'm looking forward to what the MCU brings next. But man, oh man, my heart, my body, it's conditioned, but I don't know if I'll ever be the same again. Thanks again so much for watching this. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and I'll make sure to check you guys out soon. So, until next time, stay classy.